I 24F told my boyfriend 25M I don't want to date for more than 5 years. Last night I brought up that I believe 5 years is more than enough time for dating. Last year October was our 3rd year anniversary. We talk about getting married and starting a family all the time in great detail. How many kids, discipline, finances, wedding colors, what season the wedding will be, etc. In addition, I have discontinued my birth control because we are planned to start a family soon. Even though we are both starting off in our careers, he has had 2 raises and is due for another one after he gets admitted this year, and I'll be due for a raise as well after I graduate this year as well. He also made partner at a labor consultancy and mentioned that money wouldn't be a problem soon. I thought with all of the above 5 years was a reasonable timeline to set, but he reacted very unexpectedly. At first he said I didn't have a right to give him a time limit to propose. This really took me back, but maybe I worded it the wrong way and hurt his feelings. IDK. I said I just thought it's a reasonable timeline to set. Just something to work towards together, as we had been talking so much about the future. He then said he could propose to me in 2 months, but I wasn't ready for marriage, and when I was ready, he would propose. This absolutely pissed me off because it didn't make sense. I was ready to be the mother of his child but not his wife. I was livid. I asked him to explain what he meant by that and he said he wasn't serious about he said. I completely shut down and stopped talking for the rest of the time I was at his place. On the drive back to my place I asked him why he could make a timeline for having a baby but not marriage. He had been the one to suggest we start a family soon and I had agreed because I wanted to as well. He said he still had to build a foundation first and he wouldn't feel right to go to my dad at this point, so he wasn't ready. I said we could do that together. With 2 incomes, we won't be in the same place we are now in 2 or 3 years. When I asked what is a reasonable timeline for him, he said he doesn't know, he's under a lot of pressure and he doesn't need this in addition. I said again how there's no way he can be ready to have a child if he can't handle any additional pressure and we should start considering contraceptives in that case. He then said I can't just be making those kinds of decisions, but he stands with what he said about not being ready and I can do whatever I want with that info. I assume he meant I could leave the relationship if I wanted. It was heated conversation. I didn't speak much because I was second-guessing myself. Was I being unreasonable with that request? How can I covey that it wasn't a demand? Or is this something I should really worry about? It just doesn't sit right with me that he wants to get me pregnant but isn't even thinking about when he wants to marry me. I'm so confused. Where do I go from here? Get back on birth control. Today. Step back from this relationship if you ever hope to be able to make decisions for yourself for the rest of your life. He's told you will have no autonomy with him. Neither of you are ready for kids or marriage. He isn't going to propose. He will keep making excuses until you leave. Reddit is full of, "My partner won't propose to me, what should I do?" posts. Go enjoy your life. You're young. Maybe he will come around, maybe not. Either way, you don't have to stay in any relationship you aren't happy in. This is dumb. No ring. No baby. Foot down. Birth control activated. You're planning to have kids and you're not on birth control, but you don't live together? That's my first issue. Did I, 28 female, make the right decisions in ending it with 40 male, BF? I am 28 and I met a great guy at a mutual hobby. He is 40. During the time we met I was taking pre-reqs for an accelerated nursing program. Fast forward months into our relationship I got into the accelerated program and all things changed. I knew most of my time would go into school. This was my dream to be a nurse. This is my opportunity to develop a rewarding career. Fortunately he has a career. Now it's my turn. These were my goals before I even met him. School cost over $30,000. Getting in is the first step. Now I have to actually pass all the classes. So when we say stress, sheesh, I'm stressed. I still also maintain a full-time job. My program is 15 months long. He was aware of all of this prior to getting into a relationship. And unfortunately during these months I had to put him second in my life. My relationship was not as much a priority to me than school was at this time. I made him aware of this and it didn't settle too well with him. He felt alone and abandoned and reminded me of that quite often. I needed to study though. I'm not one of those people that can spend a little bit of time on something and get it. I have to spend a lot of time on it. We managed to see each other at least once a week. We did not live together and he lived over 30 minutes away from me. During school I never felt he really supported me. I remember one time I was studying and I really did not have time to make dinner, so I ate cereal. Meanwhile, this man never asked me if I was okay or asked if I ate. But he was eating at a whole steakhouse with his friends. Things like that really bothered me. I felt his love was very conditional. He only did for me if I did in return. I could understand him if I put non-important things ahead of him. But I'm in school. I'm busting my ass. I work 5 a.m. 1 p.m. take full-time classes, have clinicals and manage to work out at least 3 times a week. I ended our relationship because I truly felt he was unhappy. I can see the shift. And with summer coming, naturally people want to be outside. So imagine how he would feel during those times. He also said he didn't feel loved or wanted be me. And that is something I could have worked on, but maybe I was like that because I didn't feel his support. Lastly, the biggest determining factor of letting him go was that I had a whole breakdown after taking an exam. Straight up went into a panic attack and he wasn't the one I wanted to call. That meant a lot to me. It confirmed that this man really does not support me. I feel awful. I miss him dearly. I wish I could have went about things differently. I just wished he was able to suck up his time. It was for only 15 months. School ends in December. He felt alone and abandoned and reminded me of that quite often. He's too old to be acting this way. You did the right thing. Saw the age gap. Yes. Good decision, don't look back. You did the right thing. Seems like he may have been trying to manipulate you. Especially since you miss him so much still. They make you addicted with their shitty behavior. My 30F boyfriend, 37M, is upset all my exes are ugly. Me, 30 female, and my BF, 37 male, have been together about 2 years. Recently my boyfriend found an old social that had me tagged in a few pictures with 2 of my exes. He then asked for pictures of my other 2 exes, even back to high school, and then became incredibly upset that all 4 of them are ugly. I was confused, because from the beginning, I've been clear that to me, looks are very unimportant and close to the bottom of my list of what I want in a partner. Therefore his good looks, for me, are a bonus to his warm personality, quick-witted humor, intelligent and interesting viewpoints and good family values. While I asked why he was so upset, he couldn't give me an answer, so hoping you all can point me in the right direction to resolve this. I have no idea why this would even be important. Update. This got a bit bigger than I thought, but thank you for all the theories and suggestions. He came to me about it, and some of you were right. He thought I was lying about not caring for looks, and to him, looks are the only thing he has going for him and was the main reason I was with him. Why he would think this, I don't know. Seeing my exes made him realize I really wasn't joking about looks not being a priority. It was insecurity, over not being an interesting person, having dropped out of college, and not achieving his financial goals, none of which are true, or if they are, not important to me. Seems he needs to work on his self-worth and he's going to discuss it with his therapist. On a side note, told him I made the post, and that people said it could be that my value goes down from having dated in a lower league than him. As if dating an ugly person tainted me. We both felt that was an absolute ridiculous theory, and anyone who feels this way 100% needs a lot of therapy. TLDR. Boyfriend found pictures of my exes on an old social media, and is now upset they are less objectively handsome than he is, by some margin. And not sure what is behind this to fix his upset over this. Maybe he thinks that he falls in that category as well. Skeptical smiley face. TBH, I have no clue why he's upset. This is a wild guess, but could it be that he prides himself on his looks? And now that he found out that you don't actually care about them, that he's a little insecure? This might be a leap, but I have no idea what else could possibly be the reason. Maybe let him cool off a bit and then talk to him about it again. He might be able to give you an answer then. He's definitely thinking he fits the pattern. Does he think your type is ugly, so he must be ugly too? And who even calls other people ugly? You were together with them, so you found them attractive in some way. That he just cares about the looks. How shallow, and this with nearly 40. You don't need to fix anything. I mean, you did nothing wrong. Your boyfriend has some problems, but that is his problems. If he is so insecure that this already caused problems and he can't talk about it. And with nearly 40 he should know that you don't have partner out of a mold. I'm also pretty sure if your ex were pretty AF, he would also had a problem. Then he would ask himself, if she had this hot guy, she must think I'm ugly. Somehow it seems as if he searched a reason for conflict. I'll tell you what I think it is: either subconsciously or consciously your value to him has gone down. Since if your exes are ugly, then you must be as well. And he was pleased that he was with someone desirable, but if that person was with ugly people, then you must not be desirable after all. Obviously I don't agree with that line of thinking, but that's what my money is on, causing him to be upset, and may all be subconscious. Am I, F23, crazy, or is he, M25? Honest feedback: I'm in a weird love triangle of guys. Living with an ex, planning a trip with an old guy friend, and then meeting someone. I met this guy off Facebook dating. He lives 2h away but was willing to drive to meet me. At this time we were both off work, so he wanted to drive out here so we could get to know each other. During this time I live with my ex and I'm house sitting for someone else and taking care of 5 dogs, a puppy and 6 cats, and told him, and he was totally fine and said he was willing to help out. Anyways, I told him about the ex situation and that he's looking into places. We've been broken up since October 22nd. He wasn't upset but had a lot of understandable questions that I answered honestly. He said he gets it. He was super helpful around the house, helped clean up dog accidents, took me to a vet appt and breakfast, then dinner to meet one of his friends. We've spent one whole day together and he starts saying he wants me to be his, he wants to be together, etc. I told him I'd like to go a little slower and not put a label on things yet. He would repeatedly say after I told him that, "Man, I just want you to be mine," and I would just kind of laugh. Anyways, we've now spent 2 days together, did the deed, asking me to be his girlfriend, etc. Well, I have a trip that I planned with a guy friend, in a different state back in January to go to the Dominican Republic in a few months. I felt it was my responsibility to be honest and tell him about this trip, and he was very upset. Understandably, but I explained this is one reason why I don't want to put a label on anything just yet, because I know about this trip. I've only been talking to this guy for 3 days now and I never intended on meeting someone I'd be interested in or someone that wants me to be his GF, so fast. He continued to say he wants to try and build something with me, but that's hard when I'm gonna go do the deed with another guy. Which I do understand. Is this all too soon? I need feedback. Far too soon. He's coming on too strong and is far too needy. That's some love bombing. Location flag. You've met the guy a couple of times. He's being way over the top. I'd just walk away from that and go enjoy your trip with your FWBs. Okay. I like me. But nobody is that great. I've met a few men that wanted it all really quickly. They didn't even know me personally. I ran. It's a sign of someone who is really needy and doesn't know how to be alone. You're both crazy. He's crazy for diving in way too fast with someone he's only known for days and who has a weird attachment to their ex. And you for leading this guy on while still having a weird attachment to your ex. The trip is a few fucking months away. What the hell are you thinking? If it was tomorrow, that might be a different story. But you want this guy to just hang around for months until you fuck some guy? What? If you like somebody then you don't fuck other people, end of story.